What's up, you guys? It's Agile back in Enshrouded here, and today we are building from you can see it on the thumbnail there, a little pond here. So I wanted to get rid of some of this stuff here because obviously it's got some bones and stuff there. I didn't like that. On our live stream in the night, we did build an entire basically river system here with our nice big waterfall. This was a lot deeper the other night. I'm not really sure, the water's being really weird right now. If you guys know how this is working in the comment section, please do tell me. And I still have to make this look nicer, but this was all nice and water, like filled with water here. You can swim through all this, and there's one water source there, one over there, and one up top, and that should be more than enough to fill this whole thing there. The only one that's really filling it right now though is the one that's up here, so I don't really understand what's going on there. But anyways, I'm not sure why the water sometimes flows and sometimes doesn't. I'm a little confused by that, but we're gonna make a little pond here regardless. So let me get rid of this corn here. Let me eat some of this corn. There we go. Look at that. But some of the blocks here we might end up using here. We have our irrigation gates here, both small and large, our wall drain, some wooden tables, some fine stone fence poles and fences. And then our water dispenser, our portable water pump, and then I have these granite stone bathtubs here, and then a bunch of this basically natural material here that we might experiment with here over time. But let me throw down a temporary bed here, just in case it's floating there. Sorry, we need to sleep. Let me go ahead and get rid of this wall here. Sorry if I sound a little weird here. I think I'm actually getting a sore throat or something. I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and remove some of this here. I'm gonna pick this sign back up here, and let's just get this out of the way. So yes, this weathered stone block looks really good like this, and I like it for pathways. But if you attach other weathered stone blocks to it, it does form bones, as you guys can see before. And then I think there's actually some, yeah, right there, which I don't like. It's not what you want, is bones laying around your market. So I'm going to go ahead and change this up a little bit here. Basically, we're going to switch to the 4-meter blocks, and I'm just going to place these in along here. And as you guys know, when we're going through this stuff here, I do not like to cut a lot of this stuff out here unless I absolutely have to. Just because I like for you guys to get some different options, different ideas, and to kind of see how I think when I'm building stuff here. Alright, so let me go ahead and place more of these down here quick, just so we have a good place to start here. I'm planning on making a nice little pond right here. I was going to do a flower bed, like I said, and flower beds do look really nice like we have in front of the inn over there. But I want to go for something a little different here. I'm trying to do the water stuff here. The water stuff is all new. So, you know. Alright, so now we need to make it deeper, so I'm just going to go ahead and place these down at ground level here. And we're just going to make a nice little area here. Come on, make that correct, and then we're just going to remove all this here. Without deleting anything that we don't want to, hopefully. Alright, so now we have this nice little area here where our pond is actually going to be in. And what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just switch to our nice big square piece here. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill this with sand, I think is what our block is going to be today. Just some nice fine sand here. Not sure why it's doing that there either. It's a little odd, isn't it? But it's fine. And I just have stone down here so that hopefully it doesn't drain out, because we did learn in our live stream that the dirt is porous. So, and if you want to intermix this, you know, say like switch it up, put some fertile springlands dirt in here, or some underwater mud, or something like some Vale Water Basin rubble. You can do that too. And then this is what the fertile springlands dirt would look like, just basically like that. But I'm gonna go with an all sand here, I think. What if I do? Oh yeah, that's the dirt. Okay. I'm gonna do all sand here. That's what my original plan was here. Oop. Oh, too high there. Here, I don't know why it's doing this here. This is very, very odd. It's like it's... Oh, there we go. I have no idea what it's doing. My game's being kind of janky. Maybe the water will work just fine when I end up getting it to or redo the server or whatever. Could be something weird like that, but this is all actually sand here. So anyways, so now you have a few different options here. You could line this in some kind of blocks here, which we might, but I'm also going to take a look at what my options are with our actual granite coffins here, or bathtubs, sorry, not coffins. Let me see here, and if we line this whole thing in those, it would look pretty nice. I almost feel like maybe I should line this part here, and I don't know how it's going to work with the water quite yet, so if you're building along, maybe use caution here. I actually wanted it back a little more, kind of like right in there. I'll pick this back up here. Okay, let's go ahead and get this flipped back around here. Whoa, I have an auto scroller on my mouse and sometimes it goes wild. Oh yeah, sorry, we did want it flipped around like this here. 90 degrees. I'll just put this one right against here. And like I said, I'm not sure if this will hold water or not. I'm hoping that it does. But we will see, right? We will see. Oop, wrong way. I'm gonna rotate this back to 90 here and then turn on snapping again. Should work fine. Okay, here it's gonna be a little janky again. And then we'll rotate this around. Okay. Okay. Rotate that around there. I keep holding G, not R. That's my problem. And we're just gonna manually place these in here. This is just gonna be a nice little foundation for our pond here, the bottom of our pond. Just adding in some variety is all I'm trying to do here, basically. And if you don't want to use these blocks, just want to do something else, that's fine too. Like I always say, just feel free to change up my designs however you feel fit as well, because ultimately it's going into your world, so you're the one that's got to be happy with it. I think what I'm actually going to do, I don't want that grass to stick out. Actually, you know what? It would look fine because it'll be under the water. Alright, so let me flip this back around here. Like so. Yeah, that grass sticks out there, which will be fine because it'll be kind of under the water and whatnot. Let me turn this here now. Oh, man. Tell you what. Keep pressing the wrong button over and over again. Yeah, let's keep it on this level here. Put it up against there, nice and neat like. Something like that. And then bring this one up here like this. And then we can kind of match this one up here. Something just like that. So now we've layered this all in the granite bathtubs. And if you want to make it higher or lower, you can. I'm Now I just wanted to do, and of course as we build this, I rarely build things ahead of time, so you're kind of seeing what I do in real time here. Let me do a wall here, and we'll do probably just a maybe we'll do regular stone blocks for this because it's kind of coming into the city here, make it look nice. So if I attach it here, we're gonna have to. Ooh, okay, all right. So it doesn't really want to let me place it there because it already is attached there, which is interesting. So use the regular wall there, and then you can turn on snapping if you're building it in the exact same spot as me. Basically, then I'm just gonna come along here and line this. There we go. Line that nicely there. Let's actually flip this here now. Okay, undo that, whatever I just did there. Okay, great. And then I'm gonna come in here and get rid of some of this here. Of this excess dirt here. Try not to punch any holes into my aqueduct there. At least not too big of ones. Where's my wall at? There it is. Okay, that should hold water. Alright, and then it's up to you how deep you want to actually make this. For me, I think I'm going to actually just go ahead and turn on my snapping's not going to work here. Okay, I'm just going to bring it over like this here so we can actually hold some nice water. Nice bit of water in there. Flip it. No. Okay, and then I want it to be the same height all the way around here. Basically, we're just matching it up to where our actual platform is there on our market, so that should hold water now, hopefully. Hopefully it does. Water is very finicky in this game. But now you'll still be able to see the pond when you're walking up here. And of course, when you're on the actual market here, you'll be able to see it too. So we can go ahead and open up a pathway here for this. Actually, you know what we could do? So since there's water running here, we could open this up to look like it's coming out of this aqueduct here, which would be just fine. See, now we have an abundance of water again. Like, this is all very deep again here. That's all very deep again over here. Like, this is what we had originally. So maybe like when you first load into the game, it takes it a hot minute for the water to actually spawn back in or flow back in. I don't really know. But yeah, it is flowing correctly again here, which is good. We could actually probably go turn some of those off there again. I do have to be careful though. I want to make sure that I'm not flooding anything out, because that would be not great. Because this is flowing here. So I guess we could technically make a hole here. Let me think of something here. So either way, you can put in a water spigot here to fill it up, or you can open up a little hole here like we're gonna attempt to do it right now. So I want the water to basically be kind of level with this. So I think if I start here, let's start safe, and we'll put a hole right there. Ooh. I've got to get all the way through here. There we go. Now we do have water filling in here. Shouldn't change the dynamic too much of our aqueduct here. But that will take a long time to fill up as well. So let's go ahead and Let's make this just a little bit wider here. Okay, there we are. Hard to jump in first person, but it should fill us up now nicely. It is sucking it in right there, which is fine. It should help to level out some of our overflow too. Ah, yeah, there you go. You can see it's starting to fill it up now really good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come along. I have these fine stone fences in here. And I'm just going to try to put a nice railing along here. I guess first I should probably start with this. And I'll come along and just put a nice fine stone fence along here. Put a nice corner piece right there. And voila, we've got a nice railing here for our pond, which looks great. So far, it's filling up really nice. See how it's affecting our water level here. But basically, yeah, you start with a stone layer, then put in your base layers, so like sand, dirt, you know, underwater growth, whatever you want there. We can always add this stuff in later too if you mess up. And then I lined it with the granite stone bathtubs there. And then I used regular stone block on top of that to match up here. It's flowing in really oddly here, but it'll level itself out eventually. I just kind of wanted it to be more or less even with this, so it's just a little low right now, which we can fix. Because it should only flow into about right where we need it to be here. If I can get this block here. Is that gonna be too high? No, it should be good. I'll make it right there and be very careful. My advice with working with water and Enshrouded is to go very, very slow. Because be patient with it because it can get out of hand very quickly. There we go. We have a nice bit of water there. Sorry guys, my throat is upset with me. You can see how much lower it is making it there, but once it fills it up, we should level off nicely. Whoa, big splash of water there. And I would love it if they'd add in more aquatic details. So devs, if you're watching this, you know, maybe lily pads and underwater plants and, you know, all that good stuff would be really cool. Maybe some floating decorations of sorts would be a lot of fun. Okay, I see that we have flooded things out over here again. Oh man. That's alright. I turned on too many of the water features, to be honest with you. Because there was no water in here when we first came in. You guys saw it, right? So, let me turn these back off again here now that we have water. I'm not really sure what the deal is. Maybe it just takes a minute for every time or something when you come back in. I don't know, but I mean, it's fine. We can always drain the water back out. In fact, and very slowly start to refill this thing. Maybe. It would refill faster than that. It is refilling, just very slowly. And then eventually, now that we have those other water sources turned off, it should start to level itself back out. All right, let's take a look at this over here. Yes, so our water has leveled out here very nicely. Yeah, I like it a lot. It looks really good, actually. Nice pool of water here. Now the only thing is, if you do build exactly what I'm building here and you punch a hole out in your wall and you would say close up an aqueduct here, it will drain back over here and drain out completely. So you might want to put in a gate, you know, like a small irrigation gate here or something to control it, or just an independent water source itself. So, but yeah, the video was based on building a small pond here, which I think turned out pretty good. One thing that we can also add in here is just you can add in, I guess, kind of an experiment too myself here. I wanted to see what happens if we add in something like, you know, like our ivy here, but we'd try to do it underwater. But you can do it. Kind of fun. I should have grabbed more underwater stuff here. Let's run up to the castle here that some of you are gonna finish. I keep saying that. If you watch my videos, I say it like every video. I just need to work on it more in my streams, I think. I just have so many other projects going all the time. Let's see here. So we do have underwater mud here, and underwater luminescent growth that we can use, which I think would look good. And then I did also want to, let me see where it's at here. I do have some of this blackmire heartwood, which could be interesting in there. Mycelium could also be interesting. Yeah, we should be fine there. We should be all right there, and that's just basically stone there. So let me fly back down here. Oop. Okay, a nice little pond here. Just kind of give it a much more civilized look, I guess, if you will. So then we do have all this basically terrain style stuff here that we can build with, which is interesting because I think what we're actually seeing there, yeah, so even though it's marked as terrain, the wood has to be built off your hammer here. But I was thinking maybe I could run like a log across or something. I'm really just gonna try to give it some shape here. That's all I'm doing. Something like that. And I was gonna do a log, but I'm kind of just doing underwater features here now, I guess, more or less. And we can go ahead and place some more of this stuff in here. And this is just a matter of, you know, how you want to decorate the bottom. And now I'm gonna come over here like this, put some more air here. This and connect it right here. Just think of it as basically like kind of decorations, almost like rocks or something underneath the water here. I just think they look nice because they kind of look like they're sandy or something, you know, since we got the sand in there already. Over here in this corner, and I would recommend using the half a block here, or the 0.5 block. Because if you actually switch to the cube 1 meter here, I'll show you what that does. It kind of makes a really big log here, which could look good if you, you know, I suppose if you went something up here. And then you know, came down or something. I'm going to remove that because I like the smaller ones. here, now that we have a little hole here, I'm just gonna play into my advantage here a little bit. Some more air. Even though we're above the water, we're not really above the water, I guess, if that makes any sense. Let's bring it this way. Just trying to make some more, you know, organic looking structures here. Yeah, something like that. I don't want to go too crazy here. I guess the sky's the limit, but and then I'm gonna go ahead and probably grab some underwater luminescent growth here, and we can just go ahead and place some of this in around here in various places, like maybe over here underneath here. Oop, undo that one. There we go. You know, it's a little darker underneath here, so, you know, maybe there's some bioluminescent plants that are growing underneath there. Kind of give it a nice glow, which we'll see here in a second as it starts to get dark out. Perfect. I don't want to go overboard with it, so we'll just see how it looks here in a second. And as far as plant life goes, like I said, underwater mud works. You could use any of them really. Underwater mud would look, you know, something like that. So we're just going to spread that around. You could do it bigger or smaller, whatever you prefer. Gonna kind of make some random plants in here. You know, this is supposed to be kind of like a, maybe like a groomed area here. Like, yes, there's plant life, and yes, it's a pond, but, you know, it's also, you know, well kept, I guess, or more well kept than other places like our aqueduct or whatever. But you can see now how that glowing effect there just makes it look more natural there, which I like a lot. And of course, at nighttime here, it's gonna look good too. If you want to put some torches around too, that'd be fine. To kind of light things up a little bit. Let me go ahead and sleep in my floating bed here. Now that I'm thinking about it, some floating beds might have been kind of cool for the wizards in our guard house here, but oh well. Always another build they can come up to. And yeah, you can decorate it kind of how you want it to be here with your actual plants, and just try to make it look organic. Don't try not to do many squares. And sorry if I have a lack of detail, guys, in this one, but you know, it's kind of self-explanatory for this one. Just decorate it up so it looks more natural. To your liking, basically. Alright, we got some nice underwater plant growth here. We got some nice logs. And then the final touch here is just going to be to add some actual fish in. So I don't have any fish on me right now. I'm going to have to go grab some. So I'm going to make a quick cut here, and then oh, before I do that, I was also going to see what this looks like. So if we take some nice mycelium and run it in various places here, so that'll kind of decorate it up like you have some underwater plants growing too there. As you know, kind of like coral or something, maybe. Fun if you could place it out there too, but you can't, so And yeah, like I said, you don't want to go overboard there unless you're going for an old decrepit look, but pretty much what I'm going to do with mine there. So now it just kind of gives it a little bit more texture again too, just breaking up those really smooth walls. So let me go grab some fish and then I'll be right back. All right guys, we're back here, and I did grab some more fish here. I grabbed I guess I got them all right here. I got a shadow tail, emberfin, thornridge, shockfin, striped tail, and sunscale. Let's throw some striped tails in there. Basically all you do then is just take them and throw them in. Boop. And of course you can always go and pick them. Oh, I got a little floating something in there, but you can always go and pick them back up too. He's gonna swim away from me. I can be fast. See, you can pick them back up there again. But we'll throw in a couple of these fish here. Throw in some ember fins here. Just remember, the more fish you have, the more entities you have, the more it could lag you. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. My bad. Alright, some thorn ridges with a bigger fish in there. Throw a couple of them in there. And then some shock fins. Hoop. Hoop. And I only had, I think, one of these in here. There we go. That should be enough. Just a couple of each. Now you can see, got fish swimming around in there, which is fun. You don't have to feed them or nothing like that. They are self-sustaining. I literally just watched one. I'm almost positive one just swam out of this hole here. Yes, they are escaping. Why are you escaping? Don't you love your enclosure? Yeah, well, I guess we now have extra fish swimming about. I'm gonna close that off, actually. Let me switch back here and go down to this, because they are escaping. They do swim back in, I guess. I suppose it's not a big deal if they swim in and out. You know, we could actually, well, they might get stuck then if we, I keep saying new Twitch items unlocked. But anyway, they can swim in and out, I guess, whatever. It doesn't really matter, but it's up to you if you want to keep them enclosed or not. But they might just swim all the way down to our actual pond down here too. But it's all good. Whatever they want, I guess. They can swim wherever they please. But yeah, just basically catch fish so you can throw them in your pond then. But I think that's going to be pretty much it here. Just short and sweet. Sorry I kind of rambled for some of it there. And not feeling the best there. But just wanted to show you guys some different aspects of different things there. And so yeah, basically, long story short, stone, then your base layer, sand, dirt, whatever you want. Then plants, then landscape. Add in your granite stone bathtubs as a trim around the bottom there. I just think it adds a little bit of extra flair. And if you don't want to waste resources on that, that's fine too. And then add in your walls around it, and basically it will contain itself. Then either add in your water dispenser here, use a portable water pump to fill it, or connect it to a river or other water source to fill it up to whatever level you prefer. I may actually have some water that's running underneath, possibly, because I have this kind of hollow under here yet, but we'll see. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate all the love you guys have been showing to the channel here as of late. And if you do like this kind of stuff, do let me know. Leave me a like, subscribing to the channel there. It does help me out a ton. And if you are a member, thank you so much for being a member. If you're one of the higher tiers there, I will leave your name down in the actual description below under the tier that you are in. So thanks, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.